Guruve Gaurachandaya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Patitana Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dhanavad Pranam devotees, I hope that your Kartik Mass is going very well and that your Niyama Seva during this month is also going very well and you're very happy and very satisfied in your bhajan life. So I had two questions come in one last night. One I directly answered the devotee back personally, and it was a subject matter that I've kind of dealt with before, so I gave deference to another question that came in, which was regarding, I'm paraphrasing again because I don't have my phone in front of me, but the question generally was about devotion in any particular sampradaya. Is it not the same as devotion given by Sriman Mahaprabhu? And so I partly answered devotee back personally, him and his good wife, and partly I'm explaining something here in brief. One is that there is a uniqueness and a speciality to what was given by Sriman Mahaprabhu. Anarpita Chirim Chirat Karunavitir Nakalo. So, Anarpita Chirim Chirat. So first, this special gift of Sriman Mahaprabhu has not been given for an extremely long time, which means the previous day of Brahma, in which Sri Krishna appears, and then Sriman Mahaprabhu appears in sort of a sequel lila to Krishna lila. So it is not something that is always available in the sense that it is just part of devotion, period, as you'd find expressed in the other sampradayas, like in Sri Sampradaya, Madhav Sampradaya, Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, and Nimbadicha Sampradaya, all have devotion. So I'm speaking particularly about the Chatur Sampradaya here, 4 sampradayas. But even any other religious practice will have some element of devotion, because without the element of devotion, no practice can bear any kind of fruit. So devotion is a quality which must be present to produce an outcome in any kind of religious endeavor. And what to speak of religious endeavors, in any kind of material endeavor, you need to be devoted to it to some degree to produce an outcome. So devotion is something that is a intrinsic quality of making an outcome happen in any given field, material or spiritual, but we're really focused on the spiritual paradigm here, not the material. And in the spiritual paradigm, especially the sort of difference between devotion or bhakti as it was, and of course I'm not doing something exhaustive here, just in brief again, but the difference between that bhakti present in the Chatur Sampradaya, 4 sampradayas, and the uniqueness of what it was that Sriman Mahaprabhu came to give. So first, in the Adi Lila, Mahaprabhu, Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami has expressed understanding the heart and channeling the heart of Sriman Mahaprabhu. Aishwara Shatila Pre Aishwara Gyani Te Sakale Jagatera Mor Mashir Aishwara Shatila Prem Nai Mor Preet Sakale Jagatera More Vari Bhakti Vraja Bhakti Paiti Nai Sakti. So he's quoted 2 verses in the Adi Lila where Sri Krishna himself, Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, is giving expression to the heart of Sri Krishna that if anyone is practicing devotion to me in the mood of Aishwarya, then because that Aishwarya, knowing my Bhagavata, knowing my Godhood, Shaitila, Prem, it diminishes the quality of the ability to express love, it does not give me as much pleasure. So this is directly manifesting the sentiment of Sri Krishna himself. Also, by the practice of Vaidhi Bhakti. And Vaidhi Bhakti means Shravanam Kirtanandani Sastra Sashana Bhayino. By fear of the rules and regulations embedded in Sastra, two kinds of fear are present there. One is if one has aspiration to obtain Vaikuntha, which is the goal of Vaidhi Bhakti, the fear of not obtaining that goal is one kind of fear. For ordinary persons practicing Dharma, then the fear of the repercussions of not practicing Dharma according to Sastric Vidhi or Sastric rules and regulations, and the fear of punishment as a result of that is another kind of fear. So when activities are impelled by that kind of fear regarding the rules and regulations, or for the aspiration of Vaikuntha Bhakti, then it is called Vaidhi Bhakti. And here in the Adi Lila, it's clearly being mentioned that that Vaidhi Bhakti cannot give Braj Bhav. So now we have to then take a look, what is this Braj Bhav? Because if it can't be obtained by the processes followed by the other sampradayas, what is it? What is its speciality? And how does one obtain it? So the uniqueness of the Braj Bhav that Mahaprabhu particularly came to distribute, Prema Rosniyas Karite Ashwadan, Rag Marg Bhakti Loke Karite Pracharan. Because Mahaprabhu was an ocean of mercy, he came and tasted himself the pinnacle of Braj Bhav. The pinnacle of Braj Bhav is the sentiment or mood called Madanakya Mahabhav of Srimati Radhika. So Lord Caitanya, Prema Rasani Raskarite Ashwadan, he came to taste that mood. But related to the other verse I quoted, Anarpita Chirim Chirat Kanunavati Nakalo Samutpaetvam Unata Ujwala Rasa Swabhakti Sviyam. While he was tasting that Unata Ujwala Ras in its highest capacity, simultaneously, Swabhakti Sriyam, he offered the methodology by which one could obtain service to that mood. So in Braj, that is called a Manjari Bhav, right? Or Palyadasi Bhav. But also Mahaprabhu, Chari Bhakti Ras, he gave also the other flavors of Braj Bhakti, with emphasis on Manjari Bhav, but the other flavors of Braj Bhav, such as Sakya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, also given by Mahaprabhu simultaneously. Because even Madhurya Rasa or Sringara Rasa, it is supported by the elements of Vatsalya Ras, by Sakya Rasa, and others flavors that are present in Braj. If there are no sweet moods of Vrindavan, of course it is said that there is no pure Dasya Rasa or Santa Rasa at all in Vrindavan. When discussing Rasa Tattva, in general we speak of Santa Rasa, Dasya Rasa, Sakya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, Madhurya Rasa. But in Braj, Sakya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, and Madhurya Rasa are imbued in everything functionally. So let me explain what I'm speaking about. The trees of Vrindavan, Shri Jamunaji, Shri Govardhan, all of the forest of Vrindavan, they are full of moods of service which nourish friendship for Krishna, which assist in parental feelings for Krishna, but especially a uripan and stimulus for conjugal feelings or Madhurya Rasa of Shri Radha Krishna. So even the trees, flowers, lakes, everything in Vrindavan serves those moods. In the house of Nanda Baba, there are servants like Patak and Raptak and Patrak. So, but those servants, they are not in the Leela really servants of Shri Krishna in that sense. Because Krishna has no money, he cannot afford to hire servants, right? So technically they're the servants of the house of Nanda Baba, who is Rajisha. He's like a king in Braj, right? So they're servants in his home and they render service to Krishna. You understand? So there's no pure Dasya Rasa here towards Krishna, right? But included in Madhurya Rasa, for instance, are all the other rasas. So all preceding moods are present in Madhurya Rasa. So everything is there in that sense. Also, the dominance of Sakya Rasa Vatsalya Rasa, and Madhurya Rasa are the main moods of Braj, and they are mutually supporting. Of course, in Rasa Tattva, Rupa Goswami Pad is described compatible and incompatible. So, Vatsalya Rasa is not compatible with Madhurya Rasa in the sense that obviously Mother Yashoda, Nanda Bhava, all elderly Brijabasis, they will not have place in the intimate dealings of Shri Radha Krishna Yuga. You understand? So there's incompatibility according to Rasa Tattva in that regard. But certainly it can't be said that Vatsalya Ras and Sakya Ras, etc., especially Sakya Ras, because there's Priyanama Sakas, etc., don't support Madhurya Rasa. How would there be any Rasa if Krishna has no mother, no father? Krishna has no friends. You understand? There is no land of Vrindavan, etc., no place to make kunja. So all of those things are supportive of the main rasas of Braj. These main rasas of Braja, they cannot be realized by an aspirant in the practice of Vaidhi Bhakti. So I've done previous question and answer sessions describing that the mode of practice which is undertaken in our line of Mahaprabhu prior to the eligibility for the earnest practice of Vraja Bhakti is called Raga Nuga Pravritti. It means it is a progressive practice towards the goal of true eligibility to taste and to practice Raga Nuga Sadhana. So tat bhava adi madhire shruti dirapekshite nasasasana yuktinscha tal lobat utpatti lakshanam. In the stage of ruchi, there is a upsurge of lobe or transcendental greed, because now nishchalaya yashaha iti nishta, because the chitta has become nishta, it has become steady. So the continual bombardment of the influences of the material energy are not so present. So with the placidness of the chitta, the consciousness, now when we hear Harikatha, when we are doing bhajan sadhan, the taste of those ingredients imbued by Swarup Shakti in those activities comes by influence on the chitta. And a taste arises first in bhajan. So the first case is in bhajan itself. So there's a desire, oh, I should chant even more, I should hear more Harikatha. Singing the Ashtakams of our acharyas is very, very nourishing. So one will have this mood. And as that matures, that ruchi in its mature stage becomes a shakti. And in a shakti, the object of the bhajan becomes prominent. Understand? I think I've also, on previous videos, repeated from our Guru Vagas a lot of these things. So this whole practice and outcome of Vraja Bhakti is clearly stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita as something not accomplished by the mode of Vaidhi Bhakti. And it's also described that the mood of Aishwarya Upasan means the worship in opulence. Here, opulence doesn't mean cleanliness, punctuality, using the best of ingredients. That doesn't mean Aishwarya in that sense. It means the mentality and mood of the sevak. If the sevak's mood is that, oh, this is Bhagwan, oh, I am the servant of Bhagavan, and my only desire is a master-servant mood. So this mentality is what is called Aishwarya Upasana, right? So if one is doing those same activities, but with the desire, oh, when will that day be mine? When I will be able to serve the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. And so many stav and stuti regarding that is coming in the heart of the devotee. Then this is in the manner of Rag Upasana. Understand? So this unique gift of Vraja Bhakti is not there in the other sampradayas. Even in the worship of Lord Jagannath in Puri, prior to the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the bringing of these conceptions of Jagannath Puri, the main temple being Dwarka, Gundicha being Vrindavan, the Rath Yatra being the taking of Krishna from Dwarka to Vrindavan, or from Kurukshetra back to Vrindavan. All of these were introduced by Mahaprabhu himself. You understand? And his followers. So the special gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regarding Vraja Bhakti is unique and special and rare. The methodology for obtaining it has been described also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Brahmanya Brahmati Kon Bhagwan Ji, Guru Krishna Prasade Poi, Bhakti Latabij. So it requires that one has the extreme good fortune of getting the mercy of Krishna in the form of a Vaishnava. You understand? By getting the mercy of Krishna, Guru Krishna Prasade Poi, Bhakti Latabij, by getting the mercy of Krishna in the form of Vaishnava Sadhu, then one can get the seed of the Bhakti Lata. So it's been described, Sava Sangamena Ratnya Ankor Rupa Eva Mati. So the beej is called Mati. Mati means like Sanatana Goswami Pad asked the Mahaprabhu, Keami, Kenyamai, Jarita Patrai. Who am I and why am I suffering? This discriminatory mindset that comes in the jiva, that gives rise to this question, this is Mati. That Mati, when one comes in contact with a Vaishnava Sadhu, and one receives the mercy of that Sadhu, those questions are answered, and the answers also give rise to Krishna Seva Vasana, the tendency towards serving Krishna, right? And the instilling of faith, Shraddha. Shraddha Anupayani Rajam Bhakti Unmukhi Chitta Vritti Visesh. And then the Chitta Vrittis, the functions of your consciousness, turn towards the desire to serve Bhagavan. This is the way by which we get in incremental stages the ability to take to the process of Raganuga Bhakti, which leads to the development of Braj Bhav. So this is the unique gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is not in the same category as Bhakti in the other Sampradayas. So therefore Mahaprabhu took some elements from those Sampradayas. But Mahaprabhu gave a very unique presentation. And our Srila Rupa Goswami Pad and our other Goswami Varga have encapsulated what it is that Mahaprabhu gave, and in their works, coming down in Parampara, through the writings of our Guru Vargas to our present day, have manifested the actual teachings and the actual practices which lead to this unique obtaining of Braj Bhav. So we should not think that Braj Bhakti is like Bhakti in general, or like Bhakti as it is manifest in other places. In especially the Sri Sampradaya, for instance, with the appearance of the alwars, which were directly representations of Krishna's own personified jewelry, his Gada, etc., and Mother Earth, Andal, Bhumi Devi, they all appeared as 12 alwars, and there's a wonderful writing in which they gave indication towards a deeper sentiment in Bhakti. This book is called Divya Prabandham. But this was, I had a wonderful darshan of Nitya Lila Pravishtom Shripad Kamungsastutara Sriman Srila Gaura Govind Swami Maharaj in Bhubaneswar, once when I was going to Puri, and then I was going on Tirtha Yatra of South India in the places that Mahaprabhu had gone. So in the darshan that I had with Srila Gaura Govind Maharaj, he explained this unfoldment of Bhakti from South India all the way to the writings of our Goswami Varga. And he mentioned how the Alwars had taken a intensified view of Bhakti and expressed it in Divya Prabandham, but that the actual unpacking of the deep sentiments of Bhakti Ras will only appear at the time of Mahaprabhu's instilling the potency and power in Rupa Goswami and our Goswami Vargas to reveal all of these things. So for instance, our Rupa Goswami Pad, having taken the template of Natya Sastra of Bharata Muni, he, in that template, explained all the conceptions of Mahaprabhu as far as Bhakti Rasa is concerned. So Bhakti and Bhakti Rasa, I also spoke on that once before, are two different evolutionary views. There's Bhakti, and then there's Bhakti Rasa. So the unique contribution in Vraja Bhakti is it also revealed the nature of Bhakti Rasa. You understand? So you can look at one previous discussion I've done on the difference between Bhakti and Bhakti Rasa for information on that, so we don't elongate this particular question and answer session. So yes, it is a completely unique gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Vraja Bhakti. And the mood of serving with the feeling of Vishramba, with intimacy, is the goal of this Vraja Bhakti. In either Dasya Rasa, Sakya Rasa, Vatsali Rasa, or especially in Madhurya Rasa. And in Madhurya Rasa, primarily the Jiva's seva comes in the mode of Palya Dasi Bhav Taradika. So this particular aspirations, they are the path of Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti I've also explained before, but essentially it means following the Ragatmik Jan. Rag Atma means the inhabitants of Vrindavan who have naturally, swabhavically, this intimate mood towards Krishna expressed in parental affection, fraternal affection, or conjugal affection. Having that mood in their heart as a natural, swabhavic, eternal reality, they are called Ragatmik Jan. Following them with a desire for those moods is called Rag Anuga. So Anuga here I've also explained before means Anugatya, or following. Right? So the way that we do that, of course, is to follow Vraja Lokanusarta. There's one verse quoted by Rupa Goswami Pad where he says, Seva Sarika Rupena Siddha Rupena Chatrahi Tad Bhava Lipsunakara Vraja Lokanusarta. So Vraja Lokanusarta means following the eternal associates, but as they have appeared in Gaur Leela and are performing and explaining as well the methodology for obtaining Braj Leela. So they're appearing in Gaur Leela and they are performing the system of practice and explaining the system of practice to obtain Braj Leela. So Vraja Lokanusarta for the aspirant means following the footsteps of Rup and Raghunath, how they did bhajan, etc., etc. And of course, coming all the way down to our Guru Vargas, that our Guru Vargas, by Guru Parapadma Nityalila Praveshtam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Stotra Sriman, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, our Shiksha Gurus and Param Gurus, Srila Nityalila Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivraj Gita Sutra Sriman, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, our Srila Prabhupada, and also Srila Bhakti Pragan Keshu Goswami Maharaj. So, how they perform bhajan, because we've directly seen their lives, how they perform bhajan, how they perform seva to their Guru Parapadma. This mood is how we will follow the path of Rag Marg. So we won't jump from the position of, oh, well, from tomorrow I will become absorbed in my internal Siddha Deha, etc., etc., right? So I'm not critiquing any methodology here. I'm explaining genuine process of doing bhajan sadhan, because anybody doing bhajan sadhan will have to follow this. It does not matter what element of Gaur Parivar you belong to, because we're actually all one family. We belong to Gaur Parivar. But if you accept them in the one traditional Parivar, Nityananda Parivar, Gadadhar Parivar, Dvaita Parivar, or I've come under Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and I've come via the methodology of Gaudiya Mahat, etc. It doesn't matter, because still the idea that sadhan bhajan, following how Rup and Raghunath, how they practice bhajan, that will have to be done by a sadhaka. You understand? So this is the unique sweetness and unique gift of Mahaprabhu in terms of Vraja Bhakti. So back to the original point of the question, it is unique, it is a speciality, it is rare, right? And so it is not like Bhakti, which is experienced in the other sampradayas, what to speak of in the general practice of spiritual, religious faith and that kind of Bhakti. It is a unique feature which is at the top of the spectrum of what is devotion to God. So hopefully this was helpful, and I always invite, which is why I do these things in a forum like this, other devotees, senior devotees especially, to contribute further, and also if there's any questions or comments or corrections, to do that as well. I might Dandavat Pranam devotees. Panchakalpaturvishya kripashindavevacha patitanam pavanevyo vaishnavevyo namo namaha. Jai Radhe Radhe.